Okay, guys, you got the big old Ryzen looking beautiful, looking great. I don't have any of the accessories, the controller, charger, keyboard, or the mouse plugged in, and the switch is turned off. So, we're gonna look. Here's the surge protector. We got these three things. They're all going to the computer. This is the TV. It's wired in this spot specifically because this is the computer, that's the TV, that's your break. You don't plug anything into this one. It's a break. These, one is the Series X and one is the VCR. A VCR can get used as a heat sink. VCRs used to get very, very hot back in the day. And if I look in here, people like to think as that silver thing that's shining right there, they like to think of that as a heat sink because they used to get really, really hot. So these massive ones, if you can get a 2-in-1, basically the bigger the better. The way it works is when you're at home, you keep it in DVD mode, so it's on the DVD side. If it gets hot, you open the disk drive. If you're gone and you need to keep it cool, you flip it over to the VHS side. The idea is the VHS is always working. The heat sink always working. It's always sucking power from the ground. So we look here, this power cord is coming from the DVD player, goes into this spot closer to the break than the Xbox. Xbox is all the way at the end. I'm going to show you my wires. Surge protector is going straight into the wall. Surge protector in the wall. Switch is off. Okay. We got your monitor. This wire is out of the way. It doesn't really matter much, but it's out of the way. That's the the power cord. No, that's the VGA cord to the monitor. So it's still got power going through it. It's got several things going through it. You gotta watch out, but it's got the least amount of difference in it. You got your HDMI. HDMI has power, has ground, has all that going on. Basically everything. HDMI can do everything. This is coming around up here behind and then going into the TV. Okay, now we're gonna get into the cold wires. So this is our power to the Ryzen. Wraps around. Hey Salem. Wraps around. Comes over here. Nothing's overlapping. You've got this power. That's for the monitor. This is coming out, straight out, wrapping around, and then it's out of the way. It's not touching anything. It's not crossed over anything. This is our computer power. Boom, wraps around all the way past this one, the monitor. It's coming through here into the AMD, the Ryzen, the supercomputer. Okay, you got this big cord. That's the TV. Comes through here, wraps around, and then it's going straight up to the TV. So nothing's touching it. It's completely out of the way. You got this cord That's the DVD cord, and it's the coil cord. The coil, it doesn't really matter how you do it as long as it's not all tied up. You just kind of want it any way like that. If you wanted to do it the other way like that, that's fine too. We're doing it like this. Crazy cat. Last cord is the Xbox. It's coming straight off here, goes down the wall, straight down the wall, straight to the Xbox. Okay, you got this HDMI coming straight up, going into the HDMI slot on this side. The HDMI slot on that side is the Xbox, completely out of the way. Get up. Come over here. Got the Xbox. Pull it out a little bit. Boom. You've got your HDMI cord. This is a fancy gold HDMI premium high speed with Ethernet. It's got it all. It's the fancy one. Going straight from the Xbox straight up to this side. That's not all. That's not everything. For the DVD player to be a proper heat sink, it all needs to be wired in correctly. These audio video cords are hardwired in from the back. You can't pull them out. You could pull them as hard as you want. They will not come out because they're hardwired from the back. And it's like they're bolted, or they have a nut holding them in. But it's more like they're welded in. It's actually called sewed. They're completely sewed in. You come over here, just plugs in like a normal VHS or DVD player, except for they're completely sewed in. So all of that, the Xbox, HDMI, the DVD, VHS, all the wires, none overlapping, the computer over here to the side. That's what's going to keep everything cool. You can run it as hard as you want. You can go as crazy as you want, turn everything up. It's basically never going to create heat. The Xbox is super economic on power, very good with it. Computer, perfect. And then if it ever did get hot, you can mess with this where you're flipping to the DVD or VHS or opening up the DVD. This is a plasma screen, and plasma screens are known to give off a little heat, which is nice. It's very good. But because of that, you gotta have everything set up perfectly to not have the plasma screen put off too much heat. This is a LED screen. And LED screens put off no heat. They're completely heatless. They have no heat to them. They were new at the time. It's a eMachines LED screen, widescreen. So you got your super computer, you got your super console. Just think of this whole thing as a heat sink, where if it gets hot, this is what's drawing the heat out, so it's not hot anymore. You got your big plasma, and it's all going to the surge protector. The surge protector straight into the wall. It never gets unplugged. If you unplug it, it'll break the ground you set. just like the wires that are sewed in. They're sewed in from the inside, so I had to take the whole thing apart, sew them in, and then put it all back together. But then everything is set to a switch. So that's the kill switch. But you can't break the ground. You can, it's not going to ruin anything, you just plug it back in, but that's the ground that you set. So you really don't want to mess with that. And that's the wires. That's the cold wire technique. Boom, 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 boom. You can get them closer so they're not sticking out like that. But it's almost better just to leave it like this, because all the work we had to do to get this far.